we are up. Hello to anyone who likes to say hello. I'm going to be continuing on my creepy toy scene. For anyone who has been following along, let me get the pop-out chat so I can see if you guys say anything. For anyone who has been following along, I have added a couple other little bits here and there. So as an instance, I've got a brand new little drum set right over there in the corner. You can kind of see. I actually went back and erased the blocks because I didn't quite like them, and I put new blocking in. Haha. And I've also started with a little hobby horse in the background, and I'm thinking that behind the teddy bear, I was going to put one of the little like pull string things, like they'd be shaped like a horse or a dog or an elephant or whatever. And I found a really cute like elephant one, and it was a little elephant with wheels and it had a string that came out of the trunk. I was going to put it there, but it just kind of got lost behind the teddy bear. So instead I thought, well, maybe it's a bedroom scene in my head. I'm envisioning a bedroom scene. So I thought I would put some curtains up. But real quick, before I go too terribly much further, I'm going to pop over to the Book of Faces and talk to the regulars. Clicky, clicky. It says my internet connection was restored. Hang on there. We don't like that. Okay. There. Cool. Dun, dun. So tonight's musical choices would be the fancy jazz music. Because what else am I gonna listen to? Also because if I listen to anything too new, YouTube gets angry at me. Which is also fair. Cool. Da, 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 da. Oh, and hello, Amelia. Person numero uno. I'm doing okay. Adjusting so that I can actually see what is said. There we go. How are you tonight? Wonderful. What can we expect coming out of the Haunted Harley Quinn next? Oh, nice. That'll be really good. To anyone paying attention in the future, yes, you mentioned that. To anyone paying attention in the future, the haunted Harlequin over there is a incredibly talented artist, cosplayer, and she also does some fabulous paranormal blogs and videos. And she does something called HarleyCon, which I keep working during, I'm sorry. February happens to be my birthday month, so maybe. I should actually blame you for this. I have started writing a book on haunt history. I've never written a book before. There's a lot of work. But yes, because of all the research I did for your panel, I ended up starting a book, kind of accidentally. I feel like that needs to be darker by like a lot. Is that too dark? Ooh, that's a good color. Good, because it is entirely your fault. Wearing a sweater because it is chilly and it keeps bumping the screen also, so. Oh, yes. I always forget you live in Florida. Well, I will talk to you in the future then. You rest well. Good night. Yes, I think I like this chocolatey color a little bit more, and then I'll go in with that other shade to, well, shade. I am currently spoiling myself because I have the next... I have 2 days off in a row. I never get 2 days off in a row. But because of the holiday, there's my regular day off, then the shop is closed. So that's good. Good for me. I remember there was the hobby horse in the Velveteen Rabbit. I think it was a hobby horse. That sort of explained everything about what happened and how you could become real. It was a really sad book in hindsight. Like, I mean, I guess it kind of, it's like Peter Pan. It's one of those things that like explains things to children. Sort of like how Peter Pan is used sometimes to explain when children die. Oh, they've gone to Neverland. The Velveteen Rabbit is sort of, oh, things get old and then you lose them. I definitely want that to be red. It's very red in my mind. I'm sort of awkwardly over the phone, but that's actually not a bad thing because it'll look more realistic, I guess, if I do that. Too small. Hang on, run away artwork. Ah. Give me just a moment here. So what you get for telling me that you can't listen, I'll just have to write you a note. Here we go. I'm going to get that later. Alright, so he's got a nice red saddle, very 1950s, 60s Western vibe. I was I was looking through a catalog of old vintage clothing, because you can find like the old Sears catalogs, they'll condense them into books. They had all of these like cowboy costumes for kids, and it was like a Roy Rogers costume, and then they would have a Dale Evans costume, but Dale Evans, they always had Mrs. Roy Rogers written beside her because I guess people didn't know who she was, even though she was pretty fabulous. Actually, fun story, my Oma, my grandmother for the non-German folks, she actually met Roy Rogers. I don't know what the event was, but it was when she was a little girl in New York. She met him, and she got her picture taken with him. And there was a whole group of people. He was there for a whole big thing. But she met him at this event, and then I had a school project where I was supposed to interview somebody who was older than I was. They wanted it to be somebody who was like at least 60. And she showed me this photograph, and I thought, this is really cool. I'm in middle school, high school, maybe high school. And I didn't really think much about it because I didn't grow up with Roy Rogers. And in this classroom, we had our teacher, and then we had an older gentleman who was sort of the teacher's aide. And he wasn't there all the time. He was there with certain occasions. And he was this nice old guy, slightly bigger guy, silver hair. And I did my presentation. And he was all about this. And he comes over to me afterwards and like, your grandmother met Roy Rogers. And he's like looking at the photograph and he's super excited. And it was just really cool to me to see that it had touched somebody, because these things we think of back in the day, it's whatever. But like, to people who grew up with that, Roy Rogers was the thing. They also sell, or used to sell, these Mickey and Minnie Mouse cowboy costumes. They were super, super cute. They had like rope patterns all down them. And I sort of feel like those costumes are partially the inspiration for Buzz and Woody. Because looking at them and then looking at the designs, not Buzz and Woody, Woody and Jessie. But yeah, looking at the designs for those, it's actually really, really cool to see. Okay. I love little history things like that where things just turn up. Hello, Shelby. I have not figured out how to actually get the things. I'm not technologically inclined. So why I do digital art? Don't ask me. I should probably look up like a reference to the saddle. Apparently if you watch this through the YouTube link instead of the YouTube app, it's less friendly to you. I tried to draw a thumbs up and I kind of failed. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Thumbs up. I tried. I should probably actually look up references to what saddles look like, but I'm not going to. At least not right now. Yes, to anyone who hasn't caught on, Miss Shelby is here, and she is wonderful, but she apparently cannot actually listen, so we are kind of playing Pictionary. Which is fine, I'm good at Pictionary. Oh, this is actually one of my favorite songs. This is The Entertainer. When we were little, my brother had a music box that actually played this. It was a copper music box shaped like a piano and had these little guys. One was like playing the piano, and I think one was on top of the piano or something. I don't remember. We were kids. But it was a fabulous, fabulous everything. And somewhere in there was motion. Hello, Gardnert. Nert. I like that. Yes, we had. Let's see. He was in the room upstairs. And he had this little copper music box right around the same time he had a bird, actually. My brother rescued a bird. Okay, backing this one up. So my brother had a science. Ooh, hang on. We're gonna stop that. We don't like that. I'm listening to YouTube while I am on YouTube because I like music. The thing is, in order for me to not run into problems, it has to be copyright-free music, and that limits the choices. So give me a second, and then I will be back up with hopefully more. Ooh, I think I've listened to this one before. Oh, this one also has like 5 billion ads. No, we're not doing that. Alright, it's a little more chill, lazy. That's fine. Anyways, brother, bird, science project. So he had a science fair. And he did, I don't remember what his project was, but he comes home from the science fair randomly with a parakeet. He gets off the bus, and my brother, who's like 7 maybe, has a parakeet with him, and we're going, what the hell has happened? How did we acquire a bird? So my mother goes and talks to the teacher, and the teacher informs us that one of the other students had raised this parakeet from an egg as their science experiment. And then, having done so and gotten a pretty decent thing on the life cycle of the common parakeet, determined that they did not need this bird anymore, so they tried to throw it in the trash, at which point my brother got the bird out of the trash and said, no, we're not doing that. And the teacher just kind of went, I have to agree. So my brother acquired a bird, and my mother, upon hearing the story of where the bird came from, went, yes, we are keeping this bird. And he had her for years, actually. It was really nice. Of course, now he's a crazy cat dad. He has a kitty cat named Whiskey. And his girlfriend has a big old dog. Poonhound is what they call the dog. Big, massive thing. Big old head. I like big dogs. Yeah, I grew up with a lot of dogs. My mother was always taking in strays. She actually got probably the most well-known of the family dogs was a dog named Vesta. My mother found Vesta on a porch of an empty house. Empty, like, townhouse in the city that she was living in. And my mom said it looked like this little mop of a dog was waiting at the door because it had realized people come out of doors. And it was waiting for somebody to come, and it was waiting for somebody to come, and it was waiting for somebody to come, and they never came. And my mother walked up to the dog and sat down and pet the dog, and then got up and walked away. And this dog looks at the door and looks at my mother and follows my mother. So, it's just a fun little story. Do you want the bridle to be read too, I guess? Keep it simple. I can change it later if I decide I want to. But let's actually color you in first. There we go. Okay, good. That is Todd. Hi. I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to say anything and be like awkward. Oh. Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. I read it as like garden nerd, maybe? I wasn't sure. I'm sorry. Do you garden? I don't know. There, you get a flower. It's not the color I thought I had. Good, okay. I always feel like it looks really bad, and then I will zoom out and go, okay, that looks okay. I feel like that's too much. One of the things that I am personally, like as an artist, working on is trying to step back, because I'll get into this mode where I like zoom in on this itty bitty piece, and then I'll never finish because I'm just so focused on making everything look great. And so something I've had to kind of learn is to just step back and look at the big picture. Because like you go and see some of these massive paintings, like at a museum when museums are open, if you are lucky enough to live where museums are open. And they'll be beautiful, but then you get up close and you go, oh, hey, there's like all this, you know, squiggle, basically, when you get up close to it. It's not nearly as together, I guess. Or not together. I mean, it's not nearly as tiny and detailed as you think at first. Yes, I like big dogs too. I like really, really big dogs, and then my coworker likes really, really little dogs. She likes her dogs about burrito sized. That's actually a really horrible joke, but she, like, that's what she likes. She likes like the French bulldogs, and she likes like the dachshunds, and like all the little dogs that you feel like you could just like pick up, like hold. What does she call them? She calls them beans or something. I don't remember. Marvelous human she is. I wonder. It's a better idea. Oh, way too small. Yes. I'm not sure what we're verifying, but yes, absolutely. And I feel like I'm verifying that I've completely lost the color of brown I was actually using, and now need to go back and find it again. Oh god, it was something horrible, wasn't it? I should just I've got a plant for you. I should just do a YouTube video about some of my easier to raise plants. That'd probably be good. I've actually been thinking about it for a while. So there's another YouTube channel that I will do work with on occasion. And there was a plant episode where we went to a garden. And it was like really weird because most of the time with that I'm behind the scenes, behind the camera, stuff like that. And then every so often we'll do something where I'll end up talking too. And somehow the concept goes, oh, we should, do plants. And I'm like, I've got this. What plant do we need? So we're doing this whole video and I keep being like, oh, that's this and that's this and that's this. And so it was really I was more of a plant person than the person who was actually supposed to be doing the video about plants. But that's okay. It's all good and well and happy, and everything is wonderful. Yes, okay. Don't go too far. There we go. Sorry, that horrifying creak was actually the very old chair I am sitting in. that I found on the side of the road in Hollywood, because that's just where you find the best chairs. I don't like that. I want to like kind of drape nicely. Cool, that'll work. Very good. Okay. Let's take a look at where we are. No, I don't want the wheel. Make the wheel go away. Bugger Credo, what are you doing? Cool, thank you. If I can get this to center. Yay. So that's my sketch layer. I can actually delete that one because we don't need that anymore. All right. So I still need to put in some blocks. I'm going to have some blocks over there. Verifying the name, that would be helpful. Not sure what would be helpful. What should I just say? There's a delay. Yeah. So I'm going to put some blocks over in this section. Just imagine blocks. And then over here, there's probably going to be a curtain coming down, because I want to also have some fairly harsh light going this way. But we'll see if I actually manage to do that or not. I actually need to finish the bottom of the clown and probably readjust and finish the cell phone. Maybe I'll work on that. It's not a cell phone. It's a, what's this called? It's a chatter phone or something. It was a thing in the 60s. This is an actual toy that I looked up. Somebody suggested toy phones and I went, okay. And the chatter phone is one of the more terrifying toys I have ever seen. So of course I had to include it because it's, Google what a chatter phone actually looks like. They're not okay. They're pretty high on the list of, oh my God, we let children play with us at one point. The teddy bear was actually the only one that was in the original concept and the blocks. And in fact, the first thing I drew was a set of blocks to balance against the teddy bear, and then I didn't like those and got rid of them, and I'm gonna do better ones because things have changed. But for the time being, we've got a hobby horse that needs some better lighting. Or is it a hobby horse or is it a rocking horse? I think it's a rocking horse. I think the hobby horse is the one that's on a, where it's just the head on a stick. I don't know. I had real horses. Like, not really, but I rode real horses growing up, so I'm not sure. I'm going to be on that layer. Digital art, always check your layer. I'm getting too detailed. I need to stop. I say as I keep going. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad, especially not, when you zoom it out. It looks pretty good. I should look at saddle references, but I'm still not going to. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my hobby horse alone for the time being. Rocking horse. And I'm going to actually finish the clown's hair because I need to. So right now we've just got these little squiggles here as like placeholders. That's not enough. It's better. Oh, wait. She had a horrible realization. Does anybody who does digital art know what that horrible realization is? Probably. Yep. Said I was on the wrong layer. Never draw on the wrong layer. Welcome back. You missed me switch to the clown and then almost draw on the wrong layer all of this lovely clown hair that I am currently working on. Yeah. As anybody who does digital art knows, the terror, the horror of drawing on the wrong flippin' layer. Yay. Verily. Yes. What time is it even? I'm curious. Yeah, not bad. Okay. Clean up in here. I know that, like, in reality, I need to have, like, a collar for him, so I'm not actually sure how to do that unless I make the collar a different color. So I'm just going to ignore that for now. I'm going to go down to his trousers. Or lack thereof. Beware of clowns not wearing trousers. Let me get that green because I need it. It's good. Beware of clowns not wearing trousers. I actually know a really impressive number of clowns now. And like when I was a kid, I thought being a clown was like this really, really hard thing. And I always heard about like clown school. And I'm like, okay. But in my brain, I like equated it to like going to college and you had to sit there and take tests. And I was like, I don't want to take tests. I was very confused what sort of test you would have to take to become a clown. Yeah, I didn't want you to do that. frequently. Possibly not frequently enough. Actually, I was kind of hoping to be joined by one of my friends who is a clown, but that is okay. Sure, she's around. What is it with this particular jazz mix? And like, they've more than once gone back to the theme that is basically just happy birthday. And I'm like, I'm not here for it. There we go. I don't know why that last one was like a billion variants on happy birthday, and I'm just not here for it. I should figure out what the bottom review is going to be shaped like, huh? That makes more sense. So, just a little trim. Good. There we go. Phew. Much better. Okay. Sorry, I've got the yawns now. I think I may actually be calling it, because I am starting to get a bit drowsy. I know it's early, but I've been on for a bit. So, Hobby Horse looks pretty good. Clown has trousers and some cleanup. I mean, it's not like I have a deadline for this piece. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty good, and I'm gonna walk over here and save it. Always save, it's important. And then I'm going to head out, I think. So good night, good night, good night. Love to everyone who joined. And I'll be back later.